How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. Tonight, we're going to be doing another podcast panel, and tonight's segment is People of Color in Cosplay. I am joined here by some pretty well-known cosplayers, Smooth Cosplayer, Ultimate Phantom, and Fran Cheesy.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Very good. Again, thank you all for coming on. Hopefully, Royalty Cosplay will also be coming on eventually.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, no, most definitely. So basically, the topic for this, what it's like being a cosplayer of color, ever had to deal like with any gatekeeping, sharing experiences, and also educating other cosplayers, whether there be a person of color or a white cosplayer. So I guess to begin, I'll start out. Sorry, that was my phone. I guess starting with Francesca, what is it like being a person of color who cosplays?
Well, when I started, one of my best friends asked me if I was worried because there's so much hate online out there. And I was like, no. And I went through years without anything being said. And then out of nowhere, boom, I went kind of viral a few years ago and I just got a lot of hate for my cosplay. I did Lulu from Final Fantasy.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, gang of hate from people.
Really well done. You said what, you and your mother helped you with that, or your friend?
Yeah, my mom made that. I did a little bit. I did, but yeah, I like being a Black cosplayer. I feel like we could put some soul into it. We don't have to play by our own rules, but then sometimes you get hate for switching up your swag on everybody. So it's just like give or take with anything. But I like it. I know it's hard, but I wouldn't change a thing.
I mean, I think the most thing people need to realize, whether they're a cosplayer of color or a non-person of color who cosplays, they're all fictional characters. And
we're just nerds having fun.
And you can do it however you want, whether it's the screen accurate or your own twist on that character. Same question for you, Ultimate. What is it like being a cosplayer of color?
Well, as a Latino Hispanic cosplayer, it's kind of different because, like, for me personally, I have trouble already fitting in, but like, as soon as I put out there, oh gosh, sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. It's just very different for me. But like, also, when I tried doing new cosplays or like suggest cosplay, there was this one time I was in a Facebook group called Black Butler, and the only thing they said, like, I put a picture of myself saying, who should I cosplay? They said Agni or Prinsoma. Those were the only two characters I could cosplay from. Oh,
I know which characters you're talking about too. They're Hindu royalty characters.
Correct. And it honestly made me sad because I did want to cosplay Growl, Fiel, etc. because I favor them, like I understand them a bit better than me, etc. But yeah.
I know, and I think it's not right for them to say that at all.
Not at all.
And I know which characters you're talking about too. Same question for you, Myron. What's it like being a cosplayer of color?
It's fun. It's you get to be a little creative with stuff because you're cosplaying a character that you don't look like. So you're like, how do I become this character, or how do I make this character become me? I don't feel like we should have to choose between their character. Sometimes I want to be just like the character. There's certain characters where I'm like, if I can't get it 1000% like what's on the screen or on the page, I don't want to do it at all. Then there's this other character where I'm like, I don't give a flying flock of birds if I look like the character. I'm gonna do it anyway, right? So yeah, sometimes I make the character become me. Like, how would I look being this character, or how would this character look if it was me instead of whoever the actual person is. I am fortunate to that I've never really gotten any, at least not to my face anyway, any like hate or discrimination, but I hear about it all the time, and it saddens me that, like you said, we're talking about fictional characters that can't feel disrespect, can't feel, oh well, this Black person is cosplaying me. that doesn't happen.
No.
You know, I hate that, you know, just like Ultimate Fandom said, you know, you get people who say, oh, well, you have to be this character, you have to be this character. Like, no, the heck I don't. You know, it's sad that we get that about fictional characters, and it's sad that it happens about dressing up. I don't like, I hate diminishing our hobby to just dress up, but sometimes I have to say it this way: we're playing dress up. Don't get your boxes or your panties in a bunch about dress up.
No,
Somebody,
I mean,
somebody, you're mad because somebody of color is playing dress up as a character you like, and you're offended that they did something different. Like, it's a fictional character and dressed up. Why are you mad at that?
it's not like they're gonna come out of the book or the page or whatever, or the TV screen or movie screen and say you shouldn't be dressing up like me. You're not.
Right. It doesn't happen.
Whether it's, you know, again, whether it's a character who's not a color or a character who's of color, I believe cosplay is for everyone. And
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
Hey, man.
and actually,
Mhm.
and I also noticed when it comes to being a person of color who cosplays, and from what I've seen online, I could be wrong. Don't like hate me for this, but I've noticed it's more of the female cosplayers of color who get the most hate
Yes.
of cosplay
Yeah.
non-person of color than you know, a male person of color who cosplays you know, a non person of color character. I don't get the hate. You know, what's so bad about just a female cosplayer in general getting hate for cosplaying a character? I don't get that.
Yeah. I think it's the intersectionality part of it. Because, like, ladies, and y'all correct me if I get this wrong. Y'all know it more than I do, but like, it's already bad enough that women get kept, whatever the right grammar for that is. Y'all get people gatekeep y'all just for being women. Like, y'all automatically disqualified from being real geeks because you're women, and then add on to it if you're like above marginally attractive. You know, if you're conventionally beautiful, they're like, oh, well, you look like a model, you have to be a fake geek or whatever. And
Yeah.
then add being a person of color on top of that.
Yeah.
So all of
Makes
that
it
mixed
10 times
together,
harder.
that's a volatile explosion right there of people just coming for you just cause.
Now, another question like I asked before we're recording. What advice would you want to give to a white cosplayer, like such as myself or any white cosplayer at all, if they were wanting to cosplay a character of color? I'll start with Ultimate Phantom.
All right, so I think basically lots of people in the My Hero who a white person cosplays. I forgot her name. She's the bunny one. She's a sexy bunny person. That's how I can say it. But yeah, like I've seen a bunch of like even my friends cosplay her. I'm like, okay, as long as you respect the character, as long as you don't like, you know, make her white or just whitewash her, I'm fine with it. It's just a character. Just don't, you know, make offensive stuff out of it. Like, you know.
All right. Same question for you, Francesca. What advice would you want to give to a white cosplayer if they were considering on cosplaying any fictional character of color?
I would say just be respectful. Like we try to be respectful. Just be respectful. Like I saw a white woman from Australia cosplays Tiana, and I think she did an amazing job. Just don't blackface and just be respectful. Whatever character. I've also seen people that want to play do anime characters and they tape their eyes. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I have heard of that.
So they can try to
Asian
more
eyes.
like the character,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's disrespectful. So as long as you're respectful with any character that you're doing, whether they're black or Asian, Hispanic, whatever character you decide to be respectful. That's all we need. It would be such a different community if people were more respectful.
Yeah, even if you're
cultures.
Even if you're a person of color, you don't need to like make your face lighter to
No.
match that character.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Embrace you.
And I know exactly what cosplay you're talking about. Who's done the Tiana? I think I've seen her like on TikTok or something.
She's really good.
She did a really good job, honestly.
She slayed.
Oh, yeah.
She was legit.
Same question for you, Myron, as I asked Ultimate and Francesca. Any advice you want to give to a white cosplayer who may want to cosplay a character of color?
Yeah, so piggybacking off of what Franchisi said, don't blackface. And I'm gonna park on that for a second. The key with that is impact over intent, right? A lot of people try to go and look at the original intent of blackface, which was to ridicule and dehumanize people of color
Back in the
And so-
1920s and everything.
right. So they'll say, oh, as long as I'm not doing it for the purpose of ridiculing a Black person, then it's fine. I don't mean to hurt you. You should just not be offended by it. No. If you blackface, brown face, whatever color you want to call it face, you get to wash that off at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Not that I would want to wash my skin off, but I can't. So while you get praised for being accurate because you put brown skin on, we get ridiculed for just wearing it every day, in and outside of cosplay. So what that tells us is, it's cool for you to do it and you get praised for it, but then we're less than just for being born that way.
Yeah.
That's the impact, regardless of what you intended, that's the impact it has on us. Because, it's 2022 and people that look like us still get discriminated against for looking the way we look. So until that's no longer a thing, that's why it's offensive to us. And then the last thing I'll say with that is, like, people try to justify it with, oh, well, somebody can paint their skin green to be a Hulk. Why is it wrong? I'm like, you see any green people around here?
No, I don't.
Like, if
Not at all.
if the skin tone exists in real life, don't do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. For instance, I do Domino from X-Men. She is the literal crayon color white.
She's like,
I do that.
She's like this color right here.
Right.
My Batman
Wayne,
bust.
Wayne, if you did a gender bend of her like I did, you would have to paint yourself white because you are not that color white.
No, I've
Right.
actually seen is it the one where you're wearing the dreads?
Yeah.
That's I seen that, and that's really a gender bend version of Domino. You don't really see a lot of those, but your take on it was really well done.
It was dope.
Thank you. I appreciate that, y'all. But yeah, like, I do that one because there is nobody who is that color white. When I do Psylocke from X-Men, she's lighter than me. I do Cyclops from X-Men, he's lighter than me. I do Nappa from Dragon Ball Z.
Really well done cosplay. Really well done cosplay. I actually saw that on your Instagram.
Thank you. He's an alien, first of all, so he's not a race at all, but he does have a naturally occurring on Earth skin tone. I don't lighten my skin for them because those skin tones actually exist. So like, if it exists in real life, don't do it. If it doesn't exist in real life, blue, actual white, purple, teal, green, whatever, go for it. Do it.
I feel like, putting body paint on your skin, whatever, as long as it's not, offensive. Like, if you wanted to, like, for example, the gal who played as Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy, she did really well. And she had the green body paint. I think it doesn't matter if you're person of color, non-person of color, if you wanted to cosplay like a fictional character who has a different skin color, such like, the Ultimate Phantom will be able to help us. The pink girl from My Hero Academia.
Nina Ashido.
Yeah, like, that's okay. Like, I've seen people of color cosplay as her, and they do really well.
Yeah.
Get honestly slay.
Yeah. Now, for when it comes to younger cosplayers of color, what advice would you want to give? Because I'm sure, like, whether they're wanting to get into cosplay or they're new to cosplay, but they're afraid of cosplay in certain characters, what advice would you want to give? Starting with you, Myron.
Let's see. So this is going to start out sounding scary. I don't mean it that way, but there's always the potential for somebody to say something negative, right? So because whether you do it 2000% accurate, somebody's going to come across and say, oh, that's a popular character or whatever. You're not being creative enough. You're not doing this, but you go and be creative. Oh, that's not accurate. Like, somebody's going to say something, or somebody can say something regardless. So you might as well do what makes you happy. So yeah, that's what I led with that. Do what makes you happy. because somebody's gonna say something regardless. So you can't please everybody.
Mm-mm.
So please yourself first, and you know, if you still want to continue to do it after that, everything's going to be fine. If you try to please everybody, you're not going to make anybody happy.
Don't be a people pleaser. Just basically, like you said, do it to please yourself.
Yeah, I say that as a recovering people pleaser myself. So I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, that's all good, man. Same question for you, Franchise. What advice would you want to give to younger cosplayers of color who were just like unsure about cosplaying certain characters?
I would tell them, don't be so easily discouraged.
Yeah.
Keep going. Pick characters you love. If you pick characters you love, you will connect so much to that cosplay. You won't feel uncomfortable. You'll just be ready to live your best life. Because I, growing up, was very discouraged from liking all things nerdy. I was told by all my friends, you're Black, you're not supposed to like that stuff. Get out of here. That's bunk. That's whack. So I would just tell younger people that are interested, younger people of color that are interested in cosplay, just go for it. Just don't be discouraged. Like, block out the negativity and all the noise and just follow your heart with what you love. Because if you just find a fandom that you love, you will just rock out whatever cosplay you decide to do.
I couldn't agree any more than that.
Hey, wait, quick question. Francesca,
yes.
Was that your Black friends that said that, or were those?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a very.
It is so frowned upon.
Yeah.
Especially growing up, it was like, oh, girl, you like Sailor Moon, like Pokemon, you like this, like that. You're not supposed to like that.
Yeah,
I would hear
all that.
That's just another form of gatekeeping, basically.
It definitely is. I just was young and didn't know. So,
but now that you're older, like, you just don't care. You just do your own thing.
It's funny now. Those people that would like get crazy with me will send me things like saying, "Hey, I thought you would like this. You might want to cosplay as this."
Yeah,
their intentions mean well, but you know it.
It's like when you're 13, it's very crushing.
I got a theory on that. I just want, and that's something for way later because I don't want to derail what you wanted to ask now. I just wanted to at least because I feel like it's important for people to know that we get it from us too. It's from outside of our group and from the inside too. So, but we just want to at least
it's a double-edged sword.
Put a tab on it to come back to later. But
no, I completely agree. It's crazy. I mean, before I go ask Ultimate the same question, it's crazy seeing that there's gatekeeping in this nerd community and cosplay community as well.
Yeah,
it's just like, it doesn't matter how old, young, skinny, fat, different race, whatever, there's going to be gatekeeping no matter what. And I've seen a whole lot of that, especially on like Instagram, TikTok, every other social media, even not really a whole lot of cons, but mainly on social media.
Yes.
Now the e-thugs out there. Keyboard warriors.
Oh yeah. Same question for you, Ultimate. What advice would you want to give to young cosplayers of color who were like afraid or not too sure about cosplaying certain characters?
I'm sorry. It's okay. It happens.
Again, I have the original Dragon Ball ringtone as my phone.
Nice. Constant entertainment during the podcast. I love it.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to turn this down. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's something I'm not sure. I may just keep it in post just to add some humor to this. But as I was asking, what advice would you want to give to younger cosplayers of color who are unsure about cosplaying certain characters because of what backlash they may receive?
I agree with. I'm so sorry. I forgot your name.
Francesca.
No, not you. The other one. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You can call me Myron. You can call me Spoof Cosplay. Right. I'm good with either one.
All right. So Myron, I agree with him. It will be scary at first because people will not like it, and also I agree with Francesca that sometimes your friends. I honestly get it personally from my family, not to cosplay. But honestly, as soon as I have the makeup on, and I just change my attitude because I feel like that. And yeah, honestly, just do what makes you happy. It doesn't matter what other people say, and there will be hate, but the ones who are staying there to support you, now those are the people you want to keep and just uh just do for more for them instead of the other people. So yeah.
Amen.
I
Thank
can't
you.
argue. I can't argue with that. Now like what I did in a podcast a while back talking about plus size and cosplay. Any experiences you like to share, whether they're good experience, bad experience while cosplaying. I'll start with Francesca.
Let me see. So just say something good or something bad.
Yeah, kind of like when I did like your favorite experience of being a cosplayer of color. You know, like when I used to like how I used to ask you
Okay.
guys in the cosplay interview.
Let me see. Something bad I remember. There's plenty of good, but there's still bad out there. I was part of a Sailor Moon group and I was asked to be Chibi. And my hairstylist, I said, I showed him a picture. This is what I need the wig to look like. He said, okay. And then he's like, girl, I didn't like that. I didn't like the way her hair looked. He said, I wanted you to be cool. I wanted to make you like ethnic looking. So he just teased out her hair. And I had like little Afro puff with curls. I got hate online for that.
Not what you're wanting.
That's not the way she's supposed to look. You look ridiculous. You look like a clown.
And she has like what, pink hair?
She
has like what, pink hair?
Yeah, she has pink hair and it's poofy, but he kept the curls and just teased them. So I was like Chibi with like some swag, but like people didn't like that. And I remember I already kind of didn't like that character. I kind of got suckered into being her a few times, but yeah, that kind of made me not like her character even more, because that's kind of the hair I was stuck with. And yeah, so that was kind of a bad experience, but that's okay. You live and you learn.
Oh yeah, no. Any good
I learned not to get suckered into doing things I don't want to do, so now I just tell people.
Oh no. Yeah, no. I definitely agree on that. Any good experience now?
For me?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of good experiences through cosplay. I've had experiences and things happen I never imagined. Like through cosplay, I've gotten the chance to be featured in some pretty big magazines. Like I was featured in Oprah magazine. I think like 4 years ago, I was featured in is it Ebony magazine? Is that still around? I don't know.
I think I remember you telling me you were featured in some magazines
a couple of times. I was just featured in it's not cosplaying, but I was featured in Walt Disney World magazine, or Walt Disney World magazine for a Disney bound. So just like doing costumes, I would never imagine like, creating costumes. I would be featured anywhere, because I don't know if you guys know, I'm a dance teacher and a choreographer.
Nice.
So like it's far from what I do with cosplay.
Hey, fellow dancer.
Hey, get it. So yeah, I think that's a really cool aspect. That'll be something cool to look back on. But I plan to do this as long as the good Lord lets me.
Yeah.
I want to be old and gold and gray, resting up. So yeah, overall cosplay is so awesome. I miss going to cons. I miss it literally, like, I feel like for me, cosplay was the missing link in my life I never knew I needed.
Yeah.
So yes, cosplay is amazing. I take the good and the bad. I just try to move past the bad and just try to find the positivity in the moment. So thanks, guys.
Amen.
I get nervous. I'm like, I hope I sound okay. I'm not much of a I kind of am a public speaker. I teach, but small doses.
Same question for you, Myron. Good and bad experiences you would like to share.
Yeah. So this one is actually both rolled up into one. So I've kind of become known for my mashups. So one of them that I did was I mixed Jango Fett from Star Wars with Django Unchained, because I was like, wait, they're spelled differently, but they're pronounced the same. The color scheme is kind of the same. Like if you take Django Unchained's like that, you mean you want to wear that blue suit that he had on when he went to the plantation? So
I know exactly what suit you're talking about. Jamie Foxx pulled that suit off really well.
Yes,
that is brilliant.
That suit mixed with Django Fett's color scheme. That's kind of the same color scheme there. Django flew a ship called Slave One. The other Django used to be a slave. They're both bounty hunters. So I was like, why has no one done this yet? Right?
That's brilliant.
So I mixed the two together. that went good when I first wore it. So the next year I actually made some improvements to it because like I couldn't see out my first helmet. The pants, I had to install a drawstring in it because if I wore it frontwards or backwards, it always felt like it was sagging, even though it wasn't. So I posted a side-by-side picture in the Dragon Con group because Dragon Con was coming up a couple of weeks later. So I posted a side-by-side of them, and I kind of with the caption showed, hey, this is what I changed, blah, blah, blah. Somebody took the picture, didn't take the caption, just took the picture, posted it on Reddit. And the next thing I know, my coworkers are telling me, hey, dude, you're on Reddit. Like, what? Huh? So I was like the top post on Reddit for like the majority of that day. So the good part about it was, yes, my cosplay blew up on Reddit. Now, the bad was very small, but it let me know just how ridiculous the internet can be.
Especially Reddit.
So, yeah, I made the mistake of reading the Reddit comments.
Oh,
Y'all,
no.
if you ever get on Reddit, if you ever blow up on Reddit, just accept your 15 minutes of fame. Don't look in the comments if you want to keep your sanity. Fortunately, it wasn't anything too bad, but it just let me know how nitpicky the internet can be. Because first of all, there was a few people who didn't know the difference between Jango Fett and Boba Fett. So
I think any Star Wars nerd would know the difference once the son
was the
father. Once the son, once the father. I mean,
right.
And their armors are both different.
But for the amount of people who accused me of just slapping a Boba Fett helmet on a random costume and calling it something Fett, way too many people accused me of that for me to believe that people should know better. Like I thought people should know better too, but that proved me wrong. But fortunately, I didn't even have to say anything. I didn't respond to anybody in that thread because I'm like, hey, this isn't my thread. I'm gonna just let it ride. Enough people, everybody who said that, somebody corrected them. Like, dude, you do know that there's a Boba and a Jango, right? So people corrected them for me. Some people accused me of skipping leg day just because I have, my calves were showing with the white stockings, and I'm like, okay. Skipping leg day is something you say to somebody who's super swole up here and super skinny down there. I got skinny legs.
Stereotypical anime character.
Yeah, or I think it's Johnny Bravo. Like Johnny Bravo's big up here.
Oh yeah.
Legs are short,
Great example.
So I'm like, yes, admittedly, I have skinny calves, but I got skinny everything else too. Like I was about 30 pounds lighter than I am now, so I was skinny everywhere. So for y'all to say I skipped leg day, like several people said that. I'm like, y'all looking at the wrong thing. And this is really nitpicky, right? So this one picture, I'm taking it in my wife and I were renting a house at the time, and the room I was taking it in was like a carport that got turned into an extra room. So I'm standing in front of the closet that has the washroom in it. So it's like a step and a half up from the floor. So somebody commented, why is this closet like above the floor? Y'all see this whole awesome ass costume.
And you're like concerned about the background?
Right. So
people are haters.
It just let me know that, like I said, people are haters, and it just let me know just how nitpicky the internet can be. Like it could have been worse, somebody actually, I was about to say it could have been something about, me being black, but somebody did say, is that the same person? His skin is a little bit darker in the left side than the right side. And I'm like, it wasn't offensive. It was just more of like, man, you're looking at, right? I just think of that meme of that girl that's working at McDonald's or Burger King. She's like, so that was my good and bad all rolled up into one.
I gotta love Reddit. Same question for you, Ultimate. Good and bad experiences of being a cosplayer of color.
Well, honestly, personally, like I also do male cosplays. This is one of my mutuals, but I honestly don't talk to them anymore. Like I said, like, hey, I want to cosplay this character, and then she replies saying like, oh, but you're female and you're this color. And I say, yeah, so. She said, oh, come back in 15 years when you have like all the surgeries to be white and skinny. And also don't wear a chest binder because you don't need it, honey.
The fuck?
That is so rude.
Damn.
I'm like,
that's hard. I'm sorry.
It was.
I can see why you don't mess with her no more.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah. Like
I'm
honestly,
sorry.
at that time it didn't bother me because like, oh, okay, I'm just still new to cosplay. Maybe they're right, but then, you know, thinking about it, like, oh, maybe I should, but then nah, I just did it my own way. I just showed
Good
off and
job.
I
Block
yeah,
that noise.
Yes.
again,
I blocked them on Insta, but on TikTok because they're like, you know,
oh yeah, no,
Oh,
make
you,
girl,
new
TikTok's the
accounts.
you gotta
word.
do, gotta do what you can. You gotta do what you do.
Yeah, I just accepted my face and just, you know, follow her back and just never like her videos or comment.
Mm.
But the good thing that I have come out of cosplay, as you can see, I'm here with you guys talking, which is
You look amazing,
awesome.
by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, really
Thank
well
you.
He
done.
does.
Cosplay.
I have the opportunity to talk to people like you guys and just meet new people who like, you know, who kind of look up to you on this small following. And like you say, oh, I just want to be like you, or like you're so friendly. Like most cosplayers I meet are just like super mean. I'm like, nah, everybody deserves to have a
Not
little kindness
everybody.
in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it just brings out the happiness in me to show like I can be myself around them. I can be positive around them and just kind of don't have to worry as much as I used to.
Nice.
I love that.
Now something new.
you.
Welcome. Now something new. I'm going to add to these podcast panels for future podcast panels. Pertaining to each topic. I'll start with you, Franchise. Anything specific to this topic segment that you would like to add and that hasn't been discussed yet?
I'm really trying to think. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I think you're doing a great job. I think this is great. I think this is such a good idea. I think more people need to hear about this. People don't know what we go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen like one other I seen like I was when I was like looking online to see if how many people have done this on YouTube. I seen like a few another cosplay podcast series like Cosplay Alliance did something like this a while back. And so I kind of like, oh, that's
Oh,
cool
I
that
think I heard about that one.
yeah. Same question for you.
Great.
Same question for you, Myron. Any specific thing you want to talk about for this topic segment that hasn't been discussed yet?
Let's see. Two just popped up in my head and I lost one of them. I'm trying to grab it back real quick. Well, I'll talk about the one that I was thinking about earlier, but hopefully the other one will come back. But when Franchise mentioned that, you know, people who were telling her, oh, you're not supposed to like this, you're not supposed to like that, it wasn't white people. It wasn't any other people. It was us, right?
Mhm.
So I pondered on this one day. I was like, why do we get this from our own people, right? This is all speculation. This is just a theory I came up with in my own head. So you got to go back to, you know, we got brought over here, we got kidnapped, sold into slavery and everything and brought over here, and we lost our culture. None of us, I don't know what country in Africa I came from, my family came from. I don't know what tribe, whatever. I'm pretty sure Franchise can feels the same way. You don't know, right?
Oh no.
So
No.
we lost whatever
clue.
culture we supposed to have. So of course, like imagine if if the four of us got abducted by some aliens in space, right? And they tried to make us assimilate into their whatever they got. We try to hold on to whatever we had from Earth, right?
Right.
So same thing, but we couldn't hold on to it. So I can imagine whether on purpose or just organically, Black people, we just made our own culture, right? Because we didn't want to be like what whatever the oppressors had going on. So I can imagine maybe somewhere along the line, somebody saw one of us do what's not stereotypical of us and our new culture and say, we worked so hard to make this new culture for ourselves. How dare you go outside of that? I don't agree with that because we should all be free to like whatever the heck we like. But I can understand if that's what happened. Like I said, I don't have hard, concrete evidence for that. That's just, I was trying to make sense of why we would tell other members of our own people, like, why you like Star Wars? You trying to be like them white boys, or why you like Dragon Ball Z? You trying to be like the Asians or whatever. And again, none of us who are actually Black geeks think like that. We don't think like that. We don't assign a color to a fandom, but some of us who don't do this do that. So I was like, that was what I came up with when I tried to make sense of why we would do that to ourselves. Do I still have, oh, the other thing I was going to say, just like, we're having this podcast, and again, thank you, Wayne, for being,
No,
for
don't
wanting
mention
to
it.
have us on. Right. So a lot of people might say, why are you making it about race? Why are you making it political? First of all, me being human ain't political, but anyway. That's why I hate when people throw that out there. It's like anything you don't feel like talking about, anything that is a problem you don't deal with, you label it political, so you ain't got to talk about it, because of course we ain't supposed to talk about politics and religion. Anyway, they say, why do you make it about race? It's about race before we even get our hands on it for us, right? It's brought to, we're not going to stop talking. We want to not talk about race. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to make it about race.
No.
But when those problems follow us into a hobby that shouldn't be about it, hell yeah, we're going to talk about it. Because this is supposed to be our escape from it. And we're not escaping from it because it follows us. So yes, you're going to take us talking about it. Until it stops happening to us, we're going to keep talking about it. So
No. I mean, I have a bunch of other topics for this podcast series that I want to talk about. And again, this is more supposed to be educational, like I said, for all for all cosplayers, whether they're cosplayers of color, cosplayers that are not of color, young, old, whatever. It's not meant to be offended. And any kind of guest I do have on there, I know, as mentioned in previous podcasts I did, they don't, not all the guest panelists speak for everyone, because I know everyone's gonna have their own opinion on this, no matter who, no matter who I interview, and no matter what their ethnicity is, everyone's gonna have their own opinion and everything. And I do appreciate you guys' opinion, and I don't want anyone to see on this, oh, well, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have done that. It's like, well, it's not to offend anyone, it's to educate people, like including myself. I always learn something new when I do these podcasts, whether they're the interviews or the panels. It's always something new you're learning, because you don't really see a whole lot of the stuff at conventions.
yeah.
Same question for you, Ultimate. Any topic pertaining to this topic segment that you would like to bring up?
Actually, yes. Since, as I mentioned, my family is Latino / Hispanic, I'm always judged because I enjoy anime, and I honestly do I get yelled at because, like, sometimes I watch this anime and my mom says, I will translate in English. ¿Tú y tu pinche animes vas a ser como Chinese? And in translation says, you and your fucking anime, are you trying to turn Chinese? And it does hurt because, like, I understand, like, it's just like a really good thing I can relate to, but then it's being taken away. But then at the same time, I understand her, like, yes, like, I'm agreeing with you that what you said earlier, that, like, yeah, they brought us here and thinking that they're gonna, like, take away our culture. I'm not really good with words, just like, but like, it's basically like one of the most comforting things, honestly, that I've had, and just, hearing that my own family say, like, you cannot watch this because it's either, you take note the religious, I'm not, it'll bring in the demons, or, oh, you're just gonna leave us. But it took them actually many years to understand that, like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's like, okay, I'm learning from this, but, like, I'm still not going to get used to it. Stuff like this does take time.
Oh,
I will admit, until, like, we understand each other, we can fully respect each other,
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree. Now, a question I want to ask. It's a question I asked in a previous panel a while back. What's your one favorite? I'll start with Myron on this. What's that one favorite cosplay you did that's not a character of color, but you enjoyed it and you enjoyed cosplay them anyway?
One that's not a character of color, but I love cosplaying them anyway.
Yeah.
Huh. Let's see. So I got a few. I'm gonna just go with the one that came to mind immediately. So I do a gender bend Psylocke from X-Men. So it was a while before I decided to do it because I was like, I guess I was kind of going back and forth about the gender bend thing, but then I saw another guy do a gender bend to Psylocke, and that kind of, not that I needed permission to do it, but it's, I guess when you see somebody else do it, it's kind of like, oh, this is actually going to be accepted. I'm not going to be ridiculed for doing this. And side note, I think that's what a lot of that's where the representation thing comes in at, because like it's not like anybody of color feels like they need permission to do something. It's more like, I know I can do it, but am I going to be accepted if I do it? So, but yeah, so that's kind of what kind of gave me the, I guess, the courage and the freedom to do Psylocke. Psylocke's my, what did we say? The waifu?
Waifu, yeah.
I feel like I'm old. I feel like I'm old because it doesn't roll off my tongue. I don't really say that
Oh
word
yeah,
a lot.
no, I
But
get
yeah.
on that. I'm like at 28
So-
and saying words like that, kind of like, did I just really say that? Did that come out of my mouth?
Yeah. So my comic crush is Psylocke. So I was just like, let me give this gender bend thing a shot. So I didn't do hair. I just kind of kept, my bald head with it because I didn't want to do like a long.
I know
flowy
Psylocke has
wig.
like a lot of purple and wears that red sash, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I did. There's a version of her that's like completely covered, which is kind of away from what you expect from Psylocke.
I've seen Psylocke in the comics and you know in the X-Men movie.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't have the legs for that, so I'm not gonna go with that one. Now that, for those who don't know, that's Ninja Bikini Psylocke is not the original version of her. The original version of her is a lot less scantily clad, but
The covered version.
Yeah, but that's the one that the bikini one is the one people know her for. But I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And then plus my wife probably would kick my butt if she saw me with my legs all out. She already thinks that when I wear my Napa, like Napa has just the black undies under the I mean, I wear some long compression shorts, so they come down the thigh, and she still says, "Why you got your booty out?" I'm like, "Girl, my booty is not out. Okay, it's covered." She says it teasingly, but anyway. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go with what I'm comfortable with. So I picked the version of Psylocke that was fully covered. So yeah, so one, because it's one of my favorite characters. I love Psylocke, but also because I did I like going outside of the box. Like if everybody else is doing this, I'm gonna go do this. So
you're gonna do your own thing,
right? So if you see Psylocke cosplayers, they normally do her psychic knife. So they do some kind of LED thing. So with the psychic knife that comes out of her hand. But the comics where she was wearing that costume that I did, she did psychic everything. She did a psychic Wolverine's claw. She did a psychic Morning Star, like the little stick with the chain that has a little the spike club at the end. So one of them, she did a psychic longbow. So it's like there's a picture of her like shooting like psychic energy with a bow and arrow. So I kind of made my own. It was my first time making. It wasn't from scratch. I took the cheapest but most professional looking bow and arrow from Dick's Sporting Goods. I bought that, spray painted it pink, put some LEDs on it. So I kind of had that glowing. So that was my first time making a prop myself. So yeah, I guess that's my favorite well, I guess she's POC.
Well, in a way, I believe.
Actually, she is and she isn't. It's funny. I was just listening to a podcast about her today, and it's like she's basically a white woman trapped in a dead Asian woman's body.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yes, her whole. You talking about convoluted? Her whole backstory is convoluted. But yeah, so visually she's Asian. So visually she's a POC.
So basically, I'll show a bit of picture of it, but that one right there, right? Yeah, I'll be with your permission if I could show a full version of this picture during the.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, good. Now, same question for you, Franchisi. What's a favorite character you like cosplaying that's not a character of color?
Okay. well, she technically is Asian,
True.
but I feel like all the anime characters are Asian. So it's like she's not black. My first cosplay that I really enjoyed doing was Sailor Moon. I did Sailor Moon from Sailor Moon. I did Sailor Moon from Sailor Moon Crystal.
Oh, the reboot series.
Yes.
Right? Nice.
I originally just wanted it for a Halloween costume. I bought the wig. It was before I knew anything about cosplay. The wig was very cheap. I had it in a bag for like a year.
Was it like an Amazon wig?
Actually, it wasn't Amazon wig. It was like $20.
Hey.
I pulled it out and I was like, okay, let's put this on. It was a disaster. So I decided to remix it. I went to the hair shop and just got some like long, like bundle ponytails. And I used my own hair. And that made her like kind of like a black girl and switched it up. And I started calling myself Sailor Eclipse. Because I'm the sister from the dark side of the moon.
I love it.
I
Yes.
always dreamed of being Sailor Moon. I've wanted to be Sailor Moon since I was 12. And I've sadly only gotten to wear that to a convention once. It was my first anime expo. I only have like one picture. So yeah, I think I was just living my best life getting to be Sailor Moon. So that if I had to pick a character where I really just like was fangirling, it was the one time I got to be Sailor Moon.
Nice. How long did it take to get that whole cosplay together?
Me and my mom worked on it for a month.
Nice. I think it's nice that you have like, I remember you telling me about how you had your mom sew with your little, I think cosplay. I think it's nice that, when your parents like want to be part of your hobby, they want to help. I think that's nice that your mom wants to do that.
She always she got accepted into FITM, but she couldn't go because of work. And she would make costumes for me for show choir and musical theater and stuff and dance. So I said, hey, can we try to make a Sailor Moon costume? I don't know if it'll work, but give it a try. And then she's like, yes, let's try it. So together we just started working on stuff. And through my cosplaying, she's kind of living her dream, making costumes that she never got to do when she was younger. So it's just worked out.
I see Ultimate Phantom working on something in the corner.
Yeah, girl, what you working on?
Well, I'm just trimming off the edges of Kazuichi.
I love that. She
Nice.
said, I'm doing this podcast. I'm making a new one, y'all. Don't play with me. She said, I'm about to switch mid costume.
Right. She could be done before the podcast is over. And to change into it.
Same question for you, Ultimate. What's a non character of color that you enjoyed cosplaying?
So I actually have 3 because I couldn't pick one. So my first
just can't pick one. We can't. It's impossible.
Yeah, right. So it's really hard. My first one actually is Miu Iruma from Danganronpa. Like honestly, because I can her a lot, I felt like really, really comfortable and really awesome in it. Even on plus side, I felt amazing in it. Like I could take over the world. My second one, also from Danganronpa, Ibuki Miyoda. And honestly, I just never felt like so pretty or like just like so hyper energy in that cosplay. And my last one has to be, oh my gosh, either Mitsuri or Nezuko, but probably Mitsuri more from Demon Slayer.
Nice. I mean, I've gotten the chance to see a good chunk of your guys' cosplays on Instagram before I did this, and of course when I interviewed Franchise and Ultimate way back when. So I guess the last thing is before we end this, I'll start with Franchise. Any last minute advice you like to give to cosplayers out there, whether they're a cosplayer color, non white cosplayer, young, old, whatever. Any advice you like to give?
Just have fun with it. Don't take yourself too seriously. Pick things you like. Don't get tricked into doing cosplays you don't want to do for others. Because you're spending your money.
Oh yeah.
You're spending your own money and you're working hard on those costumes. Don't people please. I did it.
It's an expensive hobby.
2-3 years game. Because honestly, cosplay is just for fun. It can like be lucrative if you're Yaya Han, but like,
Or if you want to get into cosplay competitions.
but
Yeah.
for anybody just starting, I say just have fun with it. It can be a little overwhelming at times and a little intimidating. Just take it one step at a time. And it does take a lot of courage to walk out in a pink wig with red eyes in July and not get stares. So it is a little different at first. I'd say if you have to put gas in the car, don't wear your costume in the gas station. But yeah, it's fun. It's just an adjustment when you go out when it's not Halloween. But it's every moment's worth it. And I've made a lot of good friends and met a lot of good people along the way. So just have fun with it and don't take yourself too seriously.
And it's always that's some good sound advice. Same question for you, Myron. Any last minute advice you'd like to give to any, on any and all cosplayers out there who may be listening to this?
Yeah, something Franchise's just said reminded me of something for any of y'all out there who want to be better allies to cosplayers of color. So I'm not going to say don't ever do this. I just want to say think about it before you do this. So just like Franchise said earlier, she got asked to be this character in this group, but she got asked because she was, the brown girl, right? That happens to a lot of us. So before you ask your friend or your associate or your acquaintance to be the token Black character in your group, just think about it. How many times has this person been asked to do this? Is this a character that they do? Or are you asking them to, from scratch or whatever, just start from the beginning to do this character that they probably wouldn't have done in the first place, and you're only asking them because they're Black, or you're only asking them because of whatever? Would you ask them to cosplay with you otherwise? Do you know them otherwise? Or you just asking some random person, hey, you're a Black person, can you be this person in our group? Just think about how that sounds before you do it. I'm not saying don't ever do it. I'm just saying, just think. Like it happened to me, but it happened to me in a very good way. Big shout out to the finest G.I. Joe costume club, my first cosplay family. We do all G.I. Joe costumes, and we do stuff for charity and stuff like that too. A lot of that same group is also in a group called Legends of 80s Wrestling. But I'm also part of that one too. We get together on Friday nights at Dragon Con, and we just storm the con as all these old wrestlers from like the late 80s, early 90s.
That'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like we shut it down when we come through. Everybody just kind of stops, and we can't. It takes us an hour to get through the whole con.
Like basically like a mini parade.
Right.
Nice.
So when I first saw them together, I was like, I want to get down with this. And one of the guys I'm closest to, he cosplays as the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Nice.
And I thought, and normally I don't feel like I have to look like the character. Just me personally, I'm not putting this on nobody else. I'm like, do whoever you want to cosplay, do you. For me, when it comes to people who are actually real life people, I'm not going to do it unless I feel like I look like the person. So I'm like, who do I look like that would fit with this group? And I thought I could be $1 Million Man's bodyguard, Virgil.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's there's a meme out there called Lonely Virgil, because he'll do conventions, and it's can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard PC disconnected in my headphones. I'm like, wait, did I just lose y'all? Anyway, so I approached my boy who was the head of the group. Me and him were pretty close. And I said, hey man, can I join the group as Virgil? And he said to me, you know what? We were actually thinking of asking you, but we didn't want to, we felt kind of bad about asking you because we didn't want you to be like the token person. And I was like, thank you.
At least they were considerate.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So he had that in mind, the fact that how does this look if we ask him to be Virgil? I mean, it was my idea in the first place. So I wasn't offended by that, but also the fact that they thought about that, just be considerate. That's all I'm saying with that.
Think before you ask your friend, hey, do you want to be this specific character with our cosplay group? Right. Yeah, no.
Especially even more so if they're not your friend. If you're just asking some random Black person to do it. Like if I'm going to recruit for my group, like say if if I'm doing an X-Men group and I have this one character who I want in the group, I'm going to ask somebody who already does that character. I'm not going to ask somebody, hey, can you spend your hard-earned money to cosplay this character for me that you wouldn't do otherwise? Right.
No, that's it, just in general, not just a person of color
Yeah. Yeah.
panel, but like in general, like don't ask some random person, hey, we've seen you do all these cosplays, we don't really know you, but would you like cosplay this random character we need in our group? Like, don't just assume they're gonna do it. Ask your friends first, I think is the best thing, just in case see if they're interested. Don't go ask some random stranger. I don't think that's like, you don't know how they're gonna react.
Right. And be tactful about it. Be tactful if you do it. Like for I actually know Royalty Cosplay.
Me too.
Because we both were, yeah. Oh, nice.
I'll make
Small
sure.
world, small
I'll
world.
still make sure to mention her in this because I know she was wanting to be part of this.
Yeah. So I asked her and 3 other friends of mine to do. So I was talking. I think we said this off camera, but I was talking about my Python Viper cosplay from G.I. Joe.
Yeah, actually, I
I
just finally saw that, and holy crap!
Yeah.
How we just I would feel sweating in that thing.
I was. It's hot as hell in that thing.
Oh, geez.
It's hot as fish grease in that thing. But anyway, so I wanted to get some other members of the Python Patrol, and I thought there's been some lady Cobra Troopers for the regular blue ones. Why not do the ones for the Python Patrol? So I asked Royalty Cosplay and 2 other female friends of mine to do it. And I said, hey, I know y'all don't even know anything about G.I. Joe. If y'all agree to do this, I will go half with y'all on the most expensive part of this costume, which was the helmets. Like they cost a couple $100s. Like my helmet cost $250. Theirs didn't cost that much, but I was like, hey, I'm asking y'all to do this.
Imagine yours was custom made or something.
Yeah, it was like resin cast or whatever.
That's dope.
So because neither of them had any interest in doing G.I. Joe, and I'm asking them to do this for me as a favor, I'm like, hey, I will help y'all pay for this. Like, I'm not saying that's what y'all have to do if you ask a random person, but
it helps.
That helps. And so yeah, that's how that worked.
At least it worked out. And again, I've seen Royalties, I've seen her cosplays, and like I said, when I got a chance to do a podcast interview for her a while back, yeah, and it was nice. It was pretty cool learning some of the cosplays she's done over the years.
Yeah, she's dope.
Oh, yeah.
We miss you.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I'll make sure to mention her in this. Now for you, Ultimate Phantom, any last minute advice you'd like to give to cosplayers in general out there?
Just do you. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter what people say. At the end of the day, it's all about you. And just do what makes you happy. Like, also that I want to add, if you know people who cosplay this character, like the other 2 amazing cosplayers says, ask them. If not, you could just say like, hey, or compromise with them because, cosplay expensive and stuff like that. So yeah. And
No, I think it's really cool, like what Myron said, how he offered to help pay for the most expensive parts of the cosplay. Like, I think that in itself kind of will like it'll kind of like make them think, okay, yeah, maybe I'll be into this if they're willing to help me with this one expensive thing. Like I've for my sister, I've done that. She's like wanted to cosplay these certain characters, and I offer, hey, well, if you need my help, I'm willing to help pay for the most expensive part of this cosplay so you can cosplay that character. I think, it's always a fun thing. I think that should do it. Again, Myron, Franchisi, and Ultimate, thank you for coming on to talk about this subject. Again, I know this topic can be a double-edged sword in most cases, but I think honestly, I think it went pretty well, especially for
Yeah.
So it's a panel I've been wanting to do for a long time. I just didn't know how to go about it at first.
You did great.
So I've been having to ask a lot of
amazing.
I've been having to ask a lot of cosplayers of color, advice on how I would go about this. So yeah, no.
Thank you for being an ally, man.
I don't mention it.
Thank you.
I feel like cosplays for everyone, and that's like I said, the main thing about this cosplay podcast series in general is just to help people, cosplayers, get recognized, whether they're well known or just starting out, and just let all these other people know about them so they can check out their work. So again, I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Glad to be here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh no,
Thank
most
you for
definitely.
having us.
Well, of
It was nice
course.
meeting everybody too, by the way.
Nice
Same
meeting
to
you
all
too,
of
guys.
you.
Oh yeah.
Y'all too. Y'all too. Y'all are amazing.
All right. Well, I guess it's just time to end this. Again, I'm Wendy Unknown. Thank you for listening to this special podcast panel on Cosplay Con Talk. Until next time, thank you for watching.